5, 4, 3.
Well, it's been 57 years since the Welsh side has beaten the South Africans, and now the 6 Springboks are in Wales for the 3rd match of the tour, and conditions could not be more in favour of the host team. Newport are used to playing on this wet surface at Rodney Parade, and under the same conditions in 1963, perhaps not quite as windy as it is today, they were the only team in Great Britain to beat the formidable All Blacks. But it's problems for both sides today. Newport are rebuilding their side and have lost many of the key players which helped them to win the Welsh Championship last season. And this is the side who will be meeting the Springboks today. A sad blow indeed for them, because their leader of the pack and number 8 forward, John Jeffries, failed to pass a fitness test, and as expected, Paul Watts will take his place in the number 8 position. Well, it's good to see John Anthony having declared himself fit at full-back and skipping the side. Now, the Newport pack is a particularly good one, but much will depend on whether they win this game today on the success of Billy Raybould and Gwilym Treharn at half-back. Well, the Springboks have already lost one match and only just managed to beat the Midland counties at Leicester. And so today they paid Newport the compliment of fielding a side which, apart from injuries, is almost a test selection. Well, there's one change from the original team, and that is that in the second row, Van Rensburg comes in for De Wet, and it's good to see that Sid Nomis and Tony Rowe in the back division are playing their first game of the tour. Now, they, like Newport, are extremely good at forward, but again, like Newport, too much will depend on the success of their very experienced halfbacks, Piet Pasaki and Douwe de Villiers. Well, when the two teams last met in 1961, the Springboks beat Newport, rather fortunately, I think, by 3 points to 0. And today, Newport are out to avenge that narrow defeat. There goes the signal by French referee Robert Chalmet. Pasaki kicking off to the Springbok into a very strong wind indeed. Newport having won the toss. We'll go down to the first set scrummage. About 5 or 6 yards inside Newport half, with Gwilym Treharn to put the ball in. Not in straight, says the referee. But he allowed it? No, he didn't. It's not in. Forward's not quite used to it yet, not settling down, understandably, at this stage of the game. Here we are, Treharn. Taylor strongly through the centre, so is Haynes with him. Treharn kicking, and now you're Skirving going through. Rickling falling on the ball, but it's a knock-on by a Newport man, and it's a set scrummage back just outside, just inside the Newport 10-yard line, midway between the 25 and the 10-yard line. And here we see Piet Crailing on the left-hand side here for the Springbok. A good heel. Tommy Bedford away. Douwe de Villiers, and here we go. Grubber running hard for the line, but Haynes is there to cover. Excellent tackle by John Anthony. Very strong runner is Grubber, who's not yet been capped by the Springbok, but he's looked extremely strong on the wing in the 2 games I've seen him play on this tour. And here we are, Pitzer to throw in for the Springbok. Ball taking place. Indecisive so far, but here comes Douwe de Villiers. A beautiful break, and nearly there. Bedford up with him. Bedford collects, but I think that de Villiers had just thrown the ball forward. And it's a scrummage now right on the Newport line. Now this is an interesting situation, especially for Grobler on the right here. But Newport have it, and there's Anthony. A kick, but he doesn't quite make it. Grobler collects, and here he goes, hard for the line, but he's well and truly tackled by Poole. Newport back there together. Well, I felt that Springbok missed a great chance there. Line out just inside the Newport 25-yard on our right. Bedford up to De Villiers. And now it's Olivier there, but he's well and truly held in midfield by Cohn. Quickly back, Haynes, Trehan, and Durant coming into the game for the first time. Steadily, yes. The pressure is rather difficult for Durant because he's facing a very strong wind and it's difficult to judge the ball coming into him, but he collected very well indeed. Comes Novice, handling the ball for the first time on this tour. Bedford is there too. So number 9, Frick Dupree, having the second tour, getting down there. On this side, Moff Myberg, tight head prop for Springbok. A bit of trouble, yes. It looks as if one of the Newport men is injured. Alan Skirvin just running off to our right. There he is, yes. Number 11, Alan Skirvin. Well, almost 10 minutes gone. Here's the scrummage on the Springbok 10-yard line. The Villiers putting the ball in. Where it's Trehan run far too quickly, and it's a penalty kick to the Springbok. Pasaki again, as he always does, taking the ball. And a good kick against this very strong wind. Now that the line-out on the Newport 10-yard line. And here we have number 15 there, Tommy Bedford, the former Oxford University captain on your left. In front of him is Pete Krelling, a test. Bringing the two numbers, as distinct from the usual 15 back down to 1. Whereas Newport are 15 to 1, of course. Number 7 is Keith Poole for Newport, long-serving player for the club and a great wing forward. But up goes Bedford, and here comes Dupree running hard. Great run by Dupree. And then it is a great pass to Wu, and there comes Hovler. Tackle, good tackle by Anthony. Yes, the Newport back rows there, but it's a pretty poor scrummaging, loose rucking by the Springbok forwards there. He should have scored. In point of fact, Dupree broke through magnificently and he made the extra man, but the pass should have gone out to Robler. Yes, Pasaki, there was a penalty kick resulting from that loose scrummage, and Pasaki was going to take this shot at goal just outside the 25-yard line. Pasaki, of course, who scored 43 points in the Test series against Australia, which recently finished in South Africa. And, of course, got himself voted Sportsman of the Year as the result of that in South Africa. It's not a good one, not by his standards. He's normally very accurate, but he well missed that one. Pasaki gathering. But runs straight into trouble with all the Newport forwards. Watkins in particular there to stop him. The rucking on both sides is not very good indeed, and the ball is being held there. People are falling and killing the ball before they get a chance of getting it out. Now it's a scrummage just inside Newport half, with Trehan again to put the ball in for Newport. Not in, says referee calmly. Yes, he allows that. It didn't look to me as if it was in, but he's allowed it. There's Dupree going up and going over his head. That is well in, but he's offside against Newport. Referee very strict on the offside and the loose. De Villiers taking it quickly just outside the halfway line. And it's a high kick. Cohen was underneath it, so was Raybould. And there's Haynes. Haynes to Paul Watt. And Daniel unable to collect his pass. But apparently it was a knock-on, so it's from a Springbok, so it's a Newport ball on their 10-yard line. Well, very little pattern about this game so far, and I think much is because of the wind, very strong wind. Behind, having to wait for it. Raybould. Fine touch. Left foot, David Cornwall, Durant, caught in possession, and then it's Martin going through. And now no miss is caught. Newport very heavily on the attack here. There's De Villiers. Quick by De Villiers. Daniel just can't get there. Well, Springbok really in trouble on that occasion. Durand having a very unsafe game at fullback, having difficulty in collecting the ball. Daniel for Newport. Up goes Poole. But it's not straight, so it's a Springbok ball about 5 yards outside their goal line. Keith Poole keeping a wary eye on the Springbok fly half. De Villiers, no miss. Got it in, but only just. Very lively on his feet is Bisaki. Up goes Martin again. Raybould, Cornwall. Taylor! Yes, a great try for Newport. Excellent try. Well, that was a splendid try, and due entirely to David Cornwall, who held the ball and gave an overhead pass to Ivor Taylor, who fed beautifully Alan Skirvin for a good try. So Newport are ahead at this stage by 3 points. Kick to come from their skipper, John Anthony. It's about 5 yards from the touchline. Newport, 3 points, try by Alan Skirvin. Extremely ragged. Trihan, Raybould. Testing Durand again. Cornwall up. And there was Tony Rule back to save the Springbok yet again. Well, here Newport with their tails really up. 5 yards outside the Springbok line, and Daniel for Newport. There's Watkins for Newport. But again, the referee is saying it was pushing by Newport in the lines out, so it's a penalty kick 15 yards from the touchline for Saki to take it. And a reasonable one against this wind, a couple of yards outside the Springbok 25. There was at the back of the line of Keith Poole for Newport and Tommy Bedford for Africa. People having difficulty in getting the ball into the line out straight with this very difficult wind. over-eagerness by the Springbok pack. The referee pulling them back. Just outside the Springbok 25. Newport well on the attack, but it's a good heel by the Springbok. Taking it, Bedford keeping it, de Villiers. Anthony's covering it. There's de Villiers there, so is no miss. But you see how well they have to wait for the Springbok forwards to come up. They're very late coming up into these rocks. No miss collecting the ball. Straight in behind. Skirving running the wrong way. And here's Barrett Llewellyn. Cool, he comes. Haynes, but Haynes knocks on. Deventer, the Springbok. Raybould. And Durand makes no mistake this time. And Anthony just failing to get underneath the ball. Very poor start of the tour for Durand, looking very uncertain today. Just inside the Springbok 10-yard line, this line out. Up goes Watson, Poole, but it's Bedford for the Springbok. Deventer gets the ball. Dupree tries to go through, but he's held. And here come the Newport forwards, going right forward, well together this time. But it's the Springbok who gets the ball. De Villiers and Deventer. Rensburg, and he's hammered to the ground. I call what? I think it goes Cornwall. Absolute panic station by the Springbok left wing there. And there's the situation. Newport right on the Springbok goal line, just on half-time. Daniel to throw the ball in. Now, can they get the ball away quickly? That's just a long one. Up goes Poole, but it's Masaki who gets it, and Olivier, but his kick is charged down. Taylor gets it, and the Raybould. And a kick through, but it's directly into touch. And there goes the half-time whistle. Newport leading by 3 points to 0. Raybould set the game in motion for Newport. Into the wind and leading by 3 points to 0. Myberg goes out. And Watkins nearly takes the ball away from him. Newport on a rampage straight away from this kick-off in the second half. Well, the Springbok have got the win, and I foresee that Fasaki will use it. He's a very good kicker of the ball, and Anthony may well be in trouble in the second half. Rehan, Raybould, Cornwall, and Anthony into the line. After the first half. And what a proud captain he must be, and what a tremendous fillip for the Newport side. That try 1 minute into the second half. There it is, Newport, 1 try, 1 goal, 8 points. Pete Fasaki to start the game for the Springbok. Neatling there while kicking, but it's a knock-on. Well, what a remarkable start for Newport. And here it is with the scrummage 10 yards outside the Newport 25. With Willem Trahan, this scrum half, but it's not straight. So it's a penalty kick for Fasaki. It's about 40 yards and not too wide an angle. Saki. Normally so accurate with his goal kicking, but not so much today. It's a good one, is it? Yes, it's an excellent kick by Saki. 3 minutes into the second half, and Springbok pull back 3 points with the goal by Saki. Midway between the 25-yard line and their 10-yard line, Springbok was scaring to throw the ball in for Newport. Up goes Martin, not straight. And it's scrummaged down 15 yards in, of course, from the touchline. Newport three-quarter line lying up very flat in anticipation of Springbok getting the ball. Not in straight, says the referee, although he pointed to his top leg, he could well be that the feet were up. And here's Anthony to his second shot in the space of 30 seconds to have a goal. Angle not quite as acute as it was before, but the distance is not very much less. And you have to put a great deal more power into his kick to get it. And it's 8-3 to Newport at the moment. It could well be after this 11 points to 3. And here's Anthony to take it. Yes, and he's got it, a great kick by the Newport skipper. There he is, extremely happy. Saki away, kicks off, and there's Martin to collect for Newport, and they're round. Bit of fighting going on, bit of trouble, but all is well. Tempers have cooled, and down we go for a set scrummage, 10 yards outside the Newport 25. And de Villiers must be a very worried man at this stage. Healed to their side, and in comes Novis. A beautiful tackle there by Billy Rabel. Saki taking the ball through. And it's a bad one by him. Can Durand to come across. Springboks looking very, very poor under pressure. Not taking a liking to the ball on the ground at all. And there's Vic Pennings, number 2 for Newport, standing in the front of the line-out, being called back by Martin. For Springbok, and it's Dowie de Villiers, a long kick, but Anthony gathers, steps back a pace so that he's allowed to kick it directly into touch. None, and nearly on top of my head that time. Dowie de Villiers is number 17. Blonde hair, Dowie de Villiers, 29 years of age, captain Springbok since 1965. Haynes. And Haynes it is, he's got the bottom of that ruck for Newport, having difficulty getting the ball. Late to get down into a scrimmage. And he's 10 yards outside the Newport 25, almost in midfield, but it's not in. This is referee Kalme, who has done a very good job here this afternoon. Again not in. Newport. Way ball going flying. For Taylor, a beautiful break. That's rugby at his best. wonderful run by Rabel, who seemed just to have too much speed for Ivor Taylor, who was up in support. And the referee calls for a penalty kick against Newport. And there's 10 minutes gone, and Newport are leaving 11 points to 3 in the second half. Saki, no trouble at all. Takes play back into his own half, but 5 yards into the Springbok half. And up goes Martin this time. Rabel, Taylor, Cornwall, and here comes John Anthony into the line. Hand off. A Rabel, let's go! Back up to Daniel. Lovis tackles him. It's going dead, I believe. Yes, it goes dead. Well, this is some wonderful rugby by Newport at the moment. Saki with a good charge down, and it's Bedford. Kobler. That's Rue, it's Rue it is, yes. The centre kicks through and finds a good touch well into the Newport half for the first time for some minutes. But he gets his skipper into trouble. It's no good knocking the ball back indiscriminately like that. Poole and Haynes and Watkins bending slightly forward for Newport. And up goes Watkins, and he gets the ball, and it's Rabel. And it's Taylor and Cornwall. Cornwall half through. And he's away. Rabel! Just lacking a little bit of support. And it's the Springbok, and it's Pesaki who puts them away. Well, the Newport midfield players playing havoc with the Springbok defence at this moment. That is Newport 11, Springbok 3. And it fits the Springbok hooker to throw in just outside the Newport 25. And Dupree, and yes, quite rightly, this referee says that the Newport centres are up too quickly, the line-out haven't finished, and here we have a penalty kick to the Springbok. And Pesaki is back to have this shot at goal. Here's Pesaki, and it's just to the right of the Newport post. Inside the 25, and here we go into extra time with Newport leading by 5 points. And it's de Villiers to try and save this game for the Springbok. It's Bedford, the tackle well and truly. Forbes killing the ball. Treading on Barry Llewellyn, but the referee won't have any nonsense. There he is, pointing to a Springbok forward, and it's a penalty kick to Newport. Minute of extra time gone now, and it's John Anthony, the Newport skipper, who must be extremely pleased at this stage of the game to find touch, and he does, to take the play on just outside the Newport 10-yard line. Dupree, but he's well held by Poole. Trailing coming through. Poole again. De Villiers, and here's Cornwall, who kicks rather than passing into the right wing. And there's Vasaki rather. Vasaki in direct touch, so he's got to go back to a couple of yards outside the Springbok half. A Springbok 25-yard line. 2 minutes of extra time gone, and Newport well and truly on the attack now. And here comes Poole, but it was it Bedford? Yes, Bedford back. Trehan who gets the ball. And here Taylor. Skirving. The high kick by Skirving. The Villiers is underneath. So is Vasaki, and Vasaki has scored it. But it's all in vain because the referee has called them back. All in vain. Bedford with his arms and his hips there. Springbok looking rather dejected at the stage, as well they might, because they've been outplayed in this game. There's no question about it. 3 minutes of extra time now, and we're just outside the Springbok 25. Springbok quickly to Roux, but again is not in. Vasaki, Roux, Roscoe's Poole to stop him, and Anthony back there with all the time in the world. And into touch it goes, and that's the end of the game. Newport have won by 11 points to 6. John Anthony, the captain, highly delighted. Congratulations. Then there's one of the coaches, Brian Jones. Highly delighted. Tommy Bedford will be congratulating him now. And there's Martin. What a wonderful effort by this Newport side.